Hey up, Ricky Evans coming at you from the living room floor with the dogs. Where's the other dog? It's there. It's pretty simple. We're going to be talking about feminism, the truth about it. And I was going to go about it in a comical way, sort of get some of my amazing acting skills in there. Alright ladies, we've got some Nazis on our hands. I was going to make it like a documentary. Feminism. What is it exactly? But now let's just get into it. Disclaimer, this video is not against powerful women or powerful men. I encourage that. Being powerful gets you far in life. Feeling powerful in yourself, it gets you far. And to the feminazis, this is not inside misogyny, because that's just dumb, really. There's no easier way to explain it. It's dumb. This video could be based off opinions. There's definitely a lot of opinions in it, but we have got the evidence to back up his opinions. And I will be talking to my friend Tegan in a minute, who is an expert at this stuff. And a trigger warning, because this will be talking about rape, it will be talking about suicide, and for some that is just enough to get triggered, so we're sorry. I will link below all the sources, the main sources, because I did use Wikipedia quite a bit. But there's a great video by Dr. Shame responding to a BuzzFeed video, which is really good, and I've got a lot of points from there, but I've also left a few in. Like, I've not talked about other points, so check that out. Check that video out, definitely recommend it. It'll be in the link below. So before it cuts to me and Tegan, just wanted to introduce feminism, read the definitions of it. And the official definition is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of equality in the sexes. But I thought I'd also look at Urban Dictionary, because that's sort of what people think of it. And pretty much every definition was the same. The first one I got, feminism used to be about women getting the same rights as men, such as the right to vote and the equal pay at work. Now feminism is a movement full of women who seem to think that their ability to push a baby out their vagina entitles them to bigger and better everything. And the second one I got was a movement meant to create rights for women when it suits their purpose, otherwise they're just annoying and hypocritical, which is true, but also false. But that's what feminism's seen as, and that's why feminists are now being titled feminazis, which are not feminists, as you can tell by the title of this video. They basically just fight sexism with sexism, which creates a different problem altogether by generalising men, generalising women, you know. And that's what I'm going to talk about with Tegan. So I'm not going to get too much into anything in this bit. Feminism, you know, they want equal opportunities to women, and that's fair enough. But they also need equal responsibilities, because, you know, women are running around ending men's careers, and that's not good at all. But yeah, I'm going to start rambling in a minute, so let's cut to future me with Tegan. And just a reminder again, this is not against strong women, but between you and me, being a strong woman does not let you get away with being a bitch. Sorry. And it's not inside misogyny, it's the truth. Yeah. So, the future me. Hello. Right. Okay, open the book then. Oh. Right? I'm the bookkeeper. You're the bookkeeper? Yes. And the expert. I can't even fold it properly. That's the point. I do talk to boobs more, like,
talk about boobs more to like you and Kaylee than I do like Matt.
Yeah. I get that, like, that's just the way we've been brought up in a society. Like, I say up to her, I'm like, we should sexualise boobs.
They just look so fat.
But then at the same time, I'm just sort of like, don't look at me. Don't make any comments. No.
Something that needs to be sorted out is the nipple thing.
Yes.
Man nipples, women nipples, they're all the same.
It's not like you can have men do topless pictures on Instagram, but women get deleted straight away. That's not alright.
Manism. What is that?
I don't know, what's manism?
It's feminism.
But for men.
But it links in to feminism. Because it's all equality.
Even though feminine is in the name, which would suggest that it is more of a females be equal, it's not.
It's not.
Which is why a lot of people don't like it, but people don't do their own research.
They don't. But we have!
Hey!
Can this go towards your grade?
No.
Ah.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's that. Go on, just turn it off now.
Yeah, there's no point in doing it. That's the end of the video.
Just start. You want to go into depth about like the waves of?
We can do, but the thing is about the waves, all it does is it tells us where we are now. Sort of like we're in a weird sort of, are we still third wave? Are we into a new fourth wave?
Okay, explain that then.
Yeah, so like the first wave were obviously women with the vote, and a lot of pretty awful stuff happened there with obviously women being taken into custody, and they were going on hunger strikes and being force fed with tubes, and it's like that's not good. It's not.
No.
Especially like men never did that. Men never had to be force fed by other men because they didn't have the vote. We didn't have the vote.
That does seem dramatic of us.
Yeah.
Which won't help men already thinking women are dramatic.
That's part of it as well, because there was the suffragettes, and then there was another group.
I remember.
Yeah, the different spelling.
Yeah.
Suffragettes and suffragists, I think it was.
Yeah.
It might be wrong. It's last time. But obviously there were the pacifist ones, but then obviously the suffragettes were like
throwing themselves in front of horses.
Yeah, which did work. It did. It made a big statement, but at the same time, it's sort of like you look at it from other sides.
Yeah.
You know, like you get why people didn't want to associate themselves with them. Like now, a lot of people don't want to associate themselves as feminists because of the bad name and labels that we've got of it.
Yeah.
With feminazis going and saying that women should be superior to men, and that's not what feminism is. Feminism is we want equality with all. Like I'm doing, I think it's gender and crime next year as one of my optional modules. And especially with crime, I do believe that women are very, very sort of pushed aside. They don't care about them. Like, you've committed a crime, but you're a woman, so we're not going to sentence you to a very long sentence because you're a mother and you've got things to think about. So obviously they do get tougher sentences than women, and I don't agree with that at all.
Women quite literally get away with murder.
Yes, literally. Like with rape, which is the next point on the book.
Yep.
Women can rape, which is controversial, but it's true.
But by law in the UK, they can't.
Illegally, textbook law states it's got to be a penis, which is not. It is inclusive of obviously like gays. Obviously that is a big thing. A lot of actual rape victims are men, but at the same time we've sort of got to include it further and broaden it to the point that women can actually. It's not just sexual assault. It gets put down as sexual assault if a woman obviously commits rape, and they get barely any time for that. Obviously tying into the fact that they are women, so they get away with more than men. It's very controversial for the fact that it's not a legal thing, and it very much should be. Women do commit rape all the time.
Another thing as well is like pedophilia.
Yeah.
Like 15-year-old girl has sex with a grown man, he is in trouble. 15-year-old boy has sex with a grown woman.
Yeah.
That's sort of rewarded.
Yeah,
you know, so like, hey, it's up shagger.
Yeah, like teacher scenarios, you get a lot of women teachers who take advantage of, like, obviously I know they've done it in Emmerdale.
Yeah,
hey.
Yeah.
But
He's a stepmom as well, isn't he?
yeah, that were a bit creepy.
Yeah. I've seen like some things in the US, women not getting away with it. So
Yeah.
as much as it kills me to say America's got this better than us at the minute. Yikes.
Terrible.
But like women, like the forced rape accusations as well.
Yeah.
They've ruined.
It's really hard with something as sensitive as rape. We had a lecture and we got told that rape is up there with murder because it does take away your livelihood to a certain point where people just can't live anymore as they used to before. Obviously that happened. And with society how it is, people are more likely to believe victims, that's how it should be at the end of the day. You shouldn't just automatically assume that the victim's lying. But in instances where they do lie, it's all gets forgotten about, and a lot of people do it. I've seen it in our year. People put on Facebook about things like rape me, and it's like, well, you shouldn't lie. If you regret it afterwards, that's not rape.
No.
But there's a lot of coverage on stuff like if you're drunk. I've had this conversation with lots of people, and they don't think if the person's drunk, if both parties are drunk, then obviously they can't consent, so whether raping each other. But at the same time, if you're to a point where you're blackout and you don't remember anything, you cannot physically consent.
No.
And people take advantage of that, but then because it's not in the statutes and there's no law about it being involved with intoxication, people get away with it that way. System is very flawed.
Suicide, right?
This is very cheerful.
I mean, we're getting the bad stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything you see online, all the stuff that wrongly romanticizes suicide and mental health, you always see it to do with women.
Yeah.
But men do have it worse as well, don't they?
Yeah. This is a very historical thing as well. It goes back to women and hysteria back in Victorian era. With doctors, they actually made vibrators in order to cure women of being insane.
Yeah, read that.
And it's sort of a weird because like we have vibrators now, but the way that they made them and why they made them, it's sort of like that's a bit screwed. That's really messed up. That's ooh. But women
I like weird stories like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's cornflakes made to stop people masturbating.
Yeah. Women have always been seen as weak, and obviously when you tie it into mental health, it's really women are seen as sort of like the epitome of mental health and it being not very good. But people don't appreciate enough the fact that men suffer too, and because of obviously toxic masculinity, people assume that men are weak for reaching out or being honest about the feelings, and it doesn't make anyone any weaker. And I said this, I've shared an article about Emma Celeb. Yeah, that
the Daily Mail.
when you actually account for how many men commit suicide compared to women in the UK, 12 men in British Isles take their lives a day.
12 men a day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then that top one, 6,507 suicides, 3/4 are men.
But yet, whenever it's mental health campaigns, it's usually targeted at women, which isn't a bad thing because a lot of women do suffer, but men suffer as well. And it's not that they suffer anymore, it's that they're ignored because of the stereotypical men are strong, men shouldn't be weak, men shouldn't feel down and depressed, but it's totally normal. It's a chemical imbalance, and just because they've got a dick doesn't mean that they don't have this chemical imbalance. It's a very real thing, and it's not got enough coverage. I mean, it's like, especially with Daily Mail, they posted articles about suicide rates in men.
Yeah.
They've put campaigns out about it, and then just totally do a U-turn and go, why are men in the jungle crying? This is bad. Ugh, like, that's...
I think they've had no food, they can't sleep right, they've not seen the family. That's human.
Yeah, it's human nature to feel sad, and that's part of what makes us human, arguably, is the fact that we do actually feel emotion.
When I lost Nemo, my CAMS therapist said to me that there's a I can't remember if it was like a town or just a tribe in Africa, and when someone loses someone they love in there, they'll go out into it and cry, and the whole area comes out and cries with them, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to cry and like go out there and have the whole street crying, but that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, part of the biggest issues that we have is the fact that people aren't in touch with their feelings, and people have been told that feelings should just be put to one side, and it's sort of a work till you die, don't get depressed. There's no such thing. Sort of.
Is that capitalism? Capitalism.
Different types of feminists, which is very confusing.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's liberal feminists that go, we're doing better than what we did, which is true because of policies, but at the same time, we are still unequal to some extent, but men are unequal to us as well. Obviously with the stuff with prisons, and if you look at parents as well, women have more rights for children than men do. I can't remember if this were in America, and obviously again this is helpful because we've not written it down. But there were a woman and she were a known drug addict, and she'd abused her kids before, and her dad had taken it to county courts and gone, look, I want custody of my children, they're not safe. And even though we provided evidence, they turned around and said no because it's a natural birthright for them to be with their mothers. And I think one of the children, I think there were a few, ended up dying because of the neglect, and she still has them children, and it's like, just because we're the ones that give birth doesn't mean that we're any more suitable to be a parent than a father is. Obviously, I had an absent father, I don't have anything to do with him, but that's not changed my outlook at all. If there is a lot of men that are far better parents than women, and it's disgusting that the courts say that women are more suited to be parents than men, because it's not true.
They just assume that because we have that motherly instinct, and that's just all the way through nature.
But at the same time, not everyone does. I know a lot of people that have said, I don't want kids because I don't think I'd be a good mother, I just don't have that motherly attachment to children, which, it's fair enough, we're a changing time, and...
Yeah, I know I'm not ready for kids yet. I would like them in the future, but I know I'm not, because I'm scared that 9 months of not drinking, I won't like Guinness anymore.
Yeah.
And my priorities need to change.
I sort of feel the same. Like, me and Harry have had this conversation with, like, if it were to happen, it'd happen, we'd sort it, we'd go about it in the right way, we'd make sure that obviously the child was the best interest and prioritised, but not everyone's as lucky to have sort of like family or people like that around them that thinks the same.
Yeah.
Like obviously my mum, she were really young when she had me, well she weren't that young, but my grandma, she were 14 when she had my auntie. She was born in 55, so obviously when she was 14, that's a big thing, especially when she was young. Because I think she ended up marrying my granddad not long after, but at the same time, they divorced. They were together quite a while actually. But it's that stigma that comes around women are baby makers. Get a wife, have babies, go to work, die.
My parents were due to get married like a week before Nat was born, but they pushed the wedding back when Mum found out she was pregnant, and everyone was like, oh, you have to pull it forward, you need to, and she was like, no, because I don't want people to think I'm getting married because I'm having a baby.
That's a big, it's still today, like, obviously with secularisation, big word, the church isn't as big as an authority figure as it used to be. Obviously we had this conversation about religion, but there's a decline in people who actually believe, and because of that obviously divorce rates have gone up, because people sort of recognise that if you're in a toxic relationship you shouldn't just stay in it because you're married to that person. It takes on average I think about 3 years to get to know someone fully, so that's why a lot of people actually do split up at the 2-year, 3-year mark in a relationship, because they go, actually you're not the person that I thought you are. No, thank you, goodbye. It's not, a lot of people don't want to get married. Like my grandma, she moved on. She's been with a partner for, I think it's over 25 years actually now. She never got married. They just don't believe that it's for them, and that's absolutely fine, but still a lot of people get pregnant really young and then get engaged and obviously go on to marry, and then that's not the right situation for them, and obviously it goes. And there's a lot of broken families, but that's, like I said, that's completely normal, that's completely okay. But it's a tough situation where people still believe that women are baby making machines.
So I don't know what I think about this yet, but men, if they don't want to be dads, do they have to be?
Ooh,
Because I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm on the same wavelength as
Yeah.
you. I don't know how to feel about it. It takes two to make a child at the end of the day. And if the father doesn't want to be part of the child's life, I think that should be decided when the kid's older, so that the kid understands. I know you can relinquish your rights to that child as a father, you can do it as a mother as well. But I think it's a really awful situation. Like, I know, like, there's a lot of men that are now going, I don't want that kid, get rid of it, that's sort of, we're not ready. And that's fair enough. I think if you're not ready as a man, don't go having unprotected sex with people at the end of the day. But at the same time, women, the biggest problem I have with it is the fact that women are the ones who are told you're responsible if you get pregnant, even though it's men that technically cause a pregnancy by vagina and stuff. It takes two, but yet women are the ones who are supposed to be in control of contraception.
Yeah.
Most forms of contraception are very woman-based. I think it's only condoms that are actually...
Now there's that new injection, isn't there?
Yeah, I know they were doing a pill, but they took it off the market because of side effects. Like, that's not... Women have to deal with migraines and...
This is what feminism should
weight gain and...
look at.
Exactly, and the fact that women are sort of being blamed themselves for getting pregnant. Like, oh, it's your fault, you should have been more responsible. But it's men ejaculating that actually causes pregnancy. And another post that I can't remember, it's a really big post, and I think there should be some sort of, and this is controversial, some sort of contraception for men, sort of like a vasectomy, but not permanent.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a concept, it was like, I know it sounds really weird, but like a switch. And what it is it's a switch, and it clamps the tube, so obviously they can't ejaculate sperm, so obviously they can't get people pregnant. I don't think that would be 100% effective, because obviously, like, even if you get sterilised, if you have your tubes tied, that's not 100% effective, not always. But I don't see why women should have, I know obviously women don't want to get pregnant, but I don't see why it's their responsibility entirely and exclusively when, for one, men cause pregnancy.
Yeah.
And obviously tying into the fact that men can relinquish their rights of being dads. If they're not ready, they're not ready. I get where people are coming from when they say that. But at the same time, if there's a woman who gets pregnant and she's not ready, but she doesn't believe in abortion, obviously she don't want to do that to herself or the child, what other option has she got rather than to have a kid? And there is stuff like adoption, but
there's so many kids in adoption.
Yeah, the fostering system, how it is, it's not good. It doesn't work good. It's not functioning.
No.
And you look at how many people have been in foster care now and suffer with mental health issues, and it's a big issue. Why should men choose to not have anything to do with the children when women have got to carry that child for 9 months, get attached to it, and then go, I don't want to put it up for adoption.
Yeah.
I want to keep it, and then they've got that burden. Well, not burden really. Children have burdens. They are. It is awful to say, but economically and financially, they do cost a lot, and a lot of women won't go into jobs. A lot of women will put everything on hold for children, as they should, because they are, it's a big thing having a kid. I know a lot of people have kids, especially young, especially in areas like we live in. But it's not taken seriously enough.
No.
Especially with the care system that we have. Don't vote Tory, guys.
How long have we been? 23 minutes. Men need more, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Appreciation.
Yes.
Because like you said, like women giving up everything for the kids. Not a lot of people realise how hard men work for the kids.
Yeah, that's something that I say about my stepdad a lot. Like, he's obviously from an older generation, nuclear family, man works, woman stays at home, tidies, looks after kids. And it has caused a lot of arguments, but at the same time, he's 50. He needs another knee replacement. He works so hard just to provide for us. And there's a lot of us, there's 9 of us in that household, you know, and it's a lot of men, even if they're from that sort of nuclear family, men work, women stay at home, it seems like an easy path, but at the same time it's not. A lot of men, especially in the labour trade, don't get enough recognition for what they do. It's a really hard job, and especially with retirement ages slowly creeping up and up. Martin's 50 now. Can you imagine him working till he's 70 building houses?
My dad's the same. He's not even 50 yet, and he's working himself to death.
Yeah.
From being really, really young, he's been in factories.
Yeah.
And this is something that's mentioned on the video that I watched, that men do the harder jobs with the higher risk, and that's why really they're paid more. But do you want to get into the wage gap?
Ooh, yes. We had this conversation last night?
I think it was walking over yesterday.
Yeah. It's a really hard thing to talk about because people don't think it exists. People don't think it exists, but it does. With stuff like movies, we spoke about, actresses get paid a lot less than men do for the same sort of leading role. Benedict Cumberbatch, he won't take up a role if his female counterpart's not getting paid the same, which actual hats off to him, because a lot of people won't do that.
Good lad.
But it is a very real thing. Obviously, my university's been striking recently. I think they've done 2 weeks, and then they're doing some more after Christmas, because the female lecturers get paid a lot less than the males do, and a lot of the time they've either got exactly the same qualifications or the females are more qualified. It is serious, it needs to be looked at, but at the same time, like you said, a lot of men do go into more risky jobs so they get paid more. Like, I say this whenever we go to concerts, like, usually people who's doing rigging are men.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's such a hard job. But
so much could go wrong in that.
Exactly, but sort of it is understandable in a biological sense. I'm not saying women are physically any weaker than men, because there's obviously women bodybuilders, there's women firefighters, they can be strong.
Yeah.
But on a biological sense, women are built to be smaller than men.
Pelvises are hollowed out so we can carry babies.
Yeah.
Men's aren't, and that's why they can lift more.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously when they go into stuff like labour jobs, like rigging, like building ships, I don't think I wouldn't be able to do that as a woman. It's a really hard thing to do. So obviously, understandably, they will get paid more, like you said. But at the same time, we shouldn't exclusively say, oh, that's a man job, because there's women like Maddie. She wants to work on a building site. She said happily she'll go to a building college and do what Martin's doing, or apprentice. She wants. This is really funny. She either wants to do nursing or building, and it's
both high risk jobs.
2 ends at the spectrum. Like nursing's seen as a very female predominant career, but actually a lot of doctors and nurses are men. And I don't know if that's because obviously women are seen as more compassionate, and for elderly carers and nurse jobs, you need to be compassionate and you need to have that emotional side to you. But like we said earlier, men can be emotional, and that's completely fine. Men are allowed to have feelings just as we are.
When I was a carer that I knew about, there was only 2 men carers in this area. One of them, everyone said was useless and wasn't the best. Not because he wasn't caring, but I just think it wasn't the right job for him. He was a bit ready to retire, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
But the other one was just a few years older than me. He was very, I mean, I never met him personally, but from what I hear, he was very sweet. And one of the service users thought that he was gay because of how nice he was, how things. I mean, he was bi, but
real bi energy.
Woo!
It's like how that's a big thing as well. Like people are like, if a man shows emotion, if a man is a little bit on the feminine side because of that emotion showing, he must be gay or bi. It's not necessarily true. Like, sometimes it is, but at the same time you can't immediately assume someone's sexuality just because they act a little bit more feminine or a little bit more masculine. That's not how it works.
I'm going to link in another video below about the struggles of being a bisexual man, because it's got some relation to this, because it sort of talks about how generalizations and society, does affect whether a bisexual prefers men or women.
A lot of, especially online, if a man comes out as bi, they genuinely seem to be sort of like gay in denial.
Yeah.
And that's something that really bothers me. Like, especially with
a lot of people say if a man's bi, he's just hiding that he's gay.
Yeah, but then on the other end of the spectrum, if a woman's bi,
that's
they're sort
sexy.
Yeah, it's sexy. It's a pinnacle for people happily say really homophobic and really sort of unnice comments about bisexuals but we'll go and watch lesbian porn.
Well, that's something that's in there, porn.
Mm.
Because the first video is reacting to a BuzzFeed video where feminists are asking questions, and one of them's like, "Oh, why do you like lesbian porn?" It's like, if you look at the for women section on Pornhub, the first few things that usually comes up, because I go on that a lot, is lesbian porn.
Yeah.
And then you get gay porn. So girls just like that as well. And I don't want to bring kids into this.
Yeah.
But older people, like older fangirls, do still like sort of fanfiction-y kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I've listed the main three.
Yeah.
Larry Stylinson, fan, Frerad. It might not have seemed sexual when you're little.
Yeah.
But there's something you enjoy about it. I can't explain. I'm not a scientist, but
Porn was made for men. I've got very passionate opinion about the sex industry and porn. Like, I'm not against the sex industry at all.
I love the sex industry.
Same, like, at the end of the day, if you're good at something, and I do think especially in the UK, if it were regulated properly, it'd be a lot better than what it is now.
Yeah.
I've said to begin with, if I have a daughter or a son, and they come to me and go, look, I've escorted a few times just for a bit of money, I was struggling, I'd be a bit like, right, I'm concerned about your safety. Obviously, I want to make sure that your best interests are prioritised and you're not in any danger at all. Because obviously a lot of women and men in the sex industry that do prostitution, even stripping in clubs, are subjected to so much hate and abuse by the people who actually use the service. And if it were used properly and regulated properly, I do think it would work a lot better than what it does. But I'm not against it at all. At the end of the day, it's a way of making money. It's capitalism sucks, and when it's a kill or be killed, money is the best thing. Money this, money that, and you can't get it any other way, and that's the only option. I don't get why people are, that's not a good way of making money, but if it's paying your bills and it's keeping you alive, how can you say that you're against it? What are they supposed to do? Go on the street and then be able to beg and then get targeted and labelled as being a nuisance and a burden for them begging, which they aren't, by the way. I don't think homeless people are a nuisance at all. I do think they need to be...
They need help.
Yeah, they need help. They're literally the most vulnerable people in society, apart from children and people with mental health and disabilities. And we just sort of ignore them in all aspects of life. Like, crime rates, they're not included in crime rates at all, but they're the people who are most likely to be targeted for crime.
one of the questions asked in the BuzzFeed video was, why do men hate rom-coms? Well, because that means, like, women want men that are, like, Prince Charming, that are going to be handsome and do everything that they ask and show that they like them in these big fancy gestures, and then they're like, you have such high expectations of us with his makeup and his boobs and your video game characters, and it's all the same. And I've seen people hating on superheroes for women, but what I've always liked about superheroes is the fact that men have unrealistic bodies as well.
And I do think we take for granted the fact that women are unrealistic expectations of women. That is a big thing, especially in the beauty industry, especially with it kicking off on YouTube so much. There is a standard for women to have tiny waists but big boobs and big butts but be skinny at the same time, and that's a really toxic thing. But on the other end of the spectrum, people do put unrealistic expectations on men as well. Not all men are going to be that Prince Charming rom-com, and it's not so, it is there, but it's not as emphasised as women. But at the same time, obviously, with the nuclear family, men go out and work. That's idealised, especially in magazines. Like, it's definitely there, and it needs to be talked about more, because it's more like unrealistic expectations of women, especially with jokes like mannequins in really funny positions or whatever, with memes and stuff. But there's very much an unrealistic expectation for men. It is there.
The sleeping around thing that we touched on. Now, like, women, like, everyone's like, oh, women can't sleep with a lot of guys, but guys can sleep with a lot of women. But as it says in the Dr. Shane video, that the only people that bring women down really are women. I mean, there are the odd men
that'll go,
I'm like, ooh, she's over a size 8. Fatty. I think the biggest, well, not the biggest issue, but a big issue with women is, like, girls being like, oh, I'm not like other girls. And everyone's like this at, like, 13. But the ones that grow up and still act like it.
One of, like you said, one of a big issue with women is women.
Women is just an issue.
I say it all the time. I get on better with men, and insert sausage memes, because men, not to stereotype them, but I just get on with them easier. They tend to be more laid back. I'm not saying there isn't any bitchiness with men, because there absolutely is, but I just think a lot of women they make issues just for the drama. And I'm not exactly the same, but I won't cause drama, but if there's drama, I'll definitely sit and watch it.
I love watching drama.
But that's the thing. We love drama, we love conflict, and I think that's just a thing for humans. You look at human history, conflict, it's all conflict, with wars, with monarchies, whatever. But women drag women down, and you see posts, we said this, with women, like we went to high school with, they'll share stuff about, oh, women shouldn't drag women down, girls for girls, you know, girl code.
And it's like, what?
They were ones who targeted you and sort of...
You have to be bigger than that. You just have to hold your head up and go, okay, you've probably changed. But at the same time, it's a wind-up.
Because I say it all the time, people do change, especially since high school. High school's a very immature time, despite what people think. A lot of people have to grow up quick, especially with GCSEs, going straight into A-levels, straight into doing university, if you go to university, or getting work straight after. You've got to grow up really quick when you're in sort of like the late teens, and that allows for people being a little bit more immature. But at the same time, women can be really awful. Like, they say all the time, children are the most honest but awful people. And I think women sort of have, I don't know if it's because we're more honest, because of stereotypes or what, but women bring women down quite a lot. And it's not, I don't get it, to be honest.
What I like about the Reddit Not Like Other Girls Now is that that's becoming memes. It's like, other girls do the makeup, do this, good music, me, good but different music.
Yeah.
Do not bring other girls down.
And it's become like wholesome.
But it's also like, it'll have a meme on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, other girls are like this. I am Patrick.
It's like the Taylor Swift song.
Which one?
I don't know. It's literally that, but it's a Taylor Swift song. I don't listen to it.
Not like other girls.
Yeah.
Oh, like You Belong With Me. Like
Yeah.
she wears high heels, I wear flip-flops. Yeah.
But I think we compare each other a lot, especially with women. I don't think men tend to do it. They probably do. I don't want to stereotype after everything we've said about everything. But like, women tend to compare themselves to other women quite a lot, especially with obviously unrealistic expectations with
I think
beauty
men do
industry.
it as well, just not as openly.
Yeah. And I think it affects a lot of women in different ways. Like, I do it all the time. I look on Instagram and I'm like, she's so pretty, I want to be like that. But people have got to understand that everyone's individualised, everyone's pretty in their own way, everyone's got something special about them, that you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. And especially with social media, it's really hard not to do that.
Is.
Like, I'll admit, I'm literally always on my phone. And I don't see it as a problem because I can control it. I don't like when I don't touch my phone.
No.
When I'm with my grandparents, I don't touch my phone. I don't do that because I don't want people to be like, oh, you're always on your phone. I do it respectfully. Like, I'm not going to sit and be on my phone while I'm talking to someone. That is one of my pet hates. Like, I'll do it sometimes if my mum's text me or whatever, but people who sit there and they're just on the phone and like having a conversation with someone, how can you be fully invested in that conversation?
I can listen when I'm scrolling, but I'm usually just looking
I get
for
that.
something.
Yeah. But it's with rise of technology and social media, it's sort of opened a new door for people to be misogynistic and people to be sexist to obviously both women and men. Because like men will see muscly pictures on Instagram and be like, I want to go to the gym. Harry will do that. He'll be like, I wish I were muscly like him. I'm like, yeah, but I don't like muscly like that. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Oh, bless him.
But I do exactly the same thing. Like I said, I'll look at a picture and I'll be like, I wonder what life would be like if I was that pretty. Would it be different?
I mean, you see it all the time. I look back at my old pictures and I'm like, I post it on my private story and I'm like, why don't I look like that anymore? The final thing I was going to ask was, we have to look towards what women actually have to fight for. Where are the inequalities? And one of the points is like free pads and things.
Yes,
like it's taxed.
products. It's classed as not a necessity but a luxury item.
5% tax.
Yeah.
Which has gone down from lots of it.
Yeah, it has gone down, and I think it was Tesco, they took off, they were paying the tax themselves, and we've got stuff like red boxes in uni and obviously around Sheffield, and I think it's like that in other places as well, where it's just a red box and it's full of products, and you could just go and pick them as you please.
I went to a pub once and it just had like little cups and things with things in.
And it's periods aren't spoken about a lot. Like,
which they should be.
Yeah, not just, I'm not saying men get disgusted by them, a lot of women won't speak about it. It's a natural, normal thing. It's not the stuff you should be disgusted by. It's, you know, a lot of women don't have periods, obviously, some women don't, but a lot of women do.
I get why they don't want to talk about it. It's a private thing, they might be a bit embarrassed.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but at the same time...
It needs to be sort of talked about in school.
It needs to be normalised rather than stigmatised, especially... like tiny twinless women, they don't get sanitary products.
I've never even thought about that, but then they wouldn't have a normal flow either, would they? With them starving.
I know it affects women in different ways, so that means obviously with them being in that much stress, we're not having food and water all the time. It'll either make it 10 times worse, or they won't have it at all.
In my experience with stress, it'd make it really delayed. Really big gaps between them. But then really heavy when it does come.
And that's an issue for women who are already, you know, suffering from cold, from whatever illnesses they're out on the streets with, because a lot of doctors' surgeries won't take them in if they've not got an address.
Their iron would get low as well, wouldn't they?
Low iron, which means obviously if they do get periods and they're heavy, they're going to suffer even more. and people don't consider that, and it's like with a lot of poor families as well, like
Yeah.
obviously we spoke about poverty in Britain. Children who live in very poor families who can't afford sanitary products have just got to deal with it. Like you were saying about
And
your
schools as well.
yeah, with schools.
Like, they tell you to put toilet roll like there instead. Don't. I came on at a gig once and I was like, oh, school always said to do this. So I did that. And at the end of the gig, so awful.
Yeah, it's not. But I remember as well being in primary school, and I started really early. I'm not embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed at all. I'll happily speak about stuff like this.
I remember the day.
I came on when I was 10 years old, and that's a lot of people are like, that's really young, but it's always been normal for me because mum came on really young. It does cause apparently health effects. Like obviously my mum's 37, she's just had an hysterectomy, she's going through change, and she's not even 40 yet.
Really?
She's really young, and I think that's because of obviously how young she started. So yeah,
We really are just ticking clocks, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go have a baby.
It's sort of serious, don't have to worry about it. But I came on really early, and whenever I had a period at school, they didn't have machines. We didn't have not even free sanitary products, but we didn't even have machines to put money in to get them in, which obviously primary schools, they don't think, obviously not a lot of people do start that young, but at the same time they can teach us about it in year 6, but they can't provide sanitary products for women that are going through that in primary school. And it's not that I got bullied, but a lot of people that did start puberty younger, like obviously when you swim at primary school, obviously you get changed in sort of like a communal changing area. People used to like sort of do slice niggers if people sort of got pubic hair, stuff like that.
I remember being laughed at when we went swimming in year 6.
Yeah.
Because I wore a bra.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to wear this bra.
Yeah.
Which I don't, because bras are actually bad for your health.
And we've been brought up in a society where we've got a restrainer on it.
Well, yeah, a couple of jokers here.
But it's, I think there's a lot of, on like an overall sort of conclusion point, there's a lot of issues that people don't consider in feminism, obviously on side of men and side of women. And obviously in terms of future feminism, I think we need to totally forget about the women. I think it is more in America. I don't think I've ever met a British feminist that has said, I want to be superior to men. We need to totally forget about that part of feminism. That is a very low percentage of people who class themselves as feminists that actually think that way. Like I said, I don't know anyone that actually thinks that way, and I know quite a few people. You know, we need to forget about that part and refocus on the fact that there is very gross inequalities between men and women on both sides, whether criminal justice system, whether to do with homelessness, whether to do with children, whether to do with society in a whole. And I think that needs to be focused on more than people arguing about whether you're a feminazi or not. Feminism's become a slur within the community, and that's not a good thing.
No.
Like, I'll openly say I'm a feminist, and my male friends will go, oh, here we go, she's going to tell us she hates us. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm not that sort of feminist.
A good feminist is Lizzo, the singer.
Yes.
Because she sings about girl power, but then she has a whole song about
Male.
how great men are.
Yes. And they're great.
They are.
They are, and that's not, it's not sarcastic or witty or anything to say that men are great. Men are great, we don't give them enough credit, and that is part of the issue that we are having on a whole at the minute. We're giving women a little bit more credit than there was given, but we're sort of ignoring men completely, and that's not a good thing in terms of suicide rates and giving men the support they need, because there's no studies into them. There's more female studies than there is men, and that's where obviously the male-female inequality lies. Stuff like that. Obviously, with me doing criminology at university, it's literally sociology law.
Yeah.
It's literally a combination of both. But when we do studies on feminism in sociology parts, the feminism studies are mainly women.
Yeah.
Like there's a Dobash and Dobash study. They were a couple and they did a domestic violence study years ago, and that was exclusively on women. There was a radical feminist theorist, and she did studies about parenthood.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. That's helpful. But there's so many feminist studies about women, which isn't a bad thing. And I just want to clarify that it's not a bad thing that women are being studied, but men are being ignored in the feminist sort of side of things, and that's not a good thing. That needs to be focused on.
So to sum it up as a whole, there are actual issues facing women where we still need to be equal to men, but at the same time, men are not the issue. So thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, all links to everything will be down below. And if you enjoyed the video, like it, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff. And thank you. You say thank you.
Thanks for listening to us waffle about things.